It's not just the bulls and bears on Wall Street. America, folks, is not only divided, but we're very lonely. In fact, it feels like that lost trust we've had in institutions over the last decade or so has eroded into our own personal relationships. And there's a crisis of a lack of friends and a lack of trust in others. There seems to be a group of people that really are keeping us all at odds, have us all really worried. I call them the new bullies, and at least one political party is terrified.
This idea that Democrats are so careful and they're so caveated and they're so worried about offending each other, offending other people. They're so worried about pissing off people on the internet. They live often in a world where they constrain themselves.
Are they too sensitive?
I think some of them, sure, are too sensitive.
Some might be an understatement. Let's bring in our power panel. Federalist Elections correspondent Brianna Lyman, along with Endeavor PAC founder Tiffany Smiley. All right, let me start with you, Tiffany. Yeah. It's hard for anyone here to disagree with this.
Right.
But I still, I look at Mondani in New York, the socialist, communist, or whatever you want to call him, and leadership in the Democratic Party still reluctant to call him out. So, what are they afraid of?
They're afraid of the American people. But actually, if they were really afraid of the American people, I think they would realize that time and time again, voters have rejected this far left, almost socialism, progressive policies. The American people have made it clear over and over that's not what they want. So it's really interesting to watch the Democrat Party sort of crumble right before our eyes with no leadership. They embrace these radical, crazy views. And it's awesome to watch the American people and Republicans rally behind President Trump because he's a real person.
Yeah.
He is one of us.
He's out there demanding they bring the Redskins name back, right? It's like, really, and there was no really groundswell to get rid of it in the first place.
Right.
But we are talking about, Brianna, that, one phrase we hear a lot in government that the framers were afraid of was the tyranny of the majority.
Yes.
This is the tyranny of the minority.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. What we're seeing right now is that you have a small group of people who happen to be the loudest voices in the party. So think about it. When we talk about Mamdani, the Democrats have no incentive to endorse or embrace Mamdani because the entire country shifted right this election, not left. And yet they're still scared to do so. And if anything, if Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries, if they had an ounce of political instinct left, they would use this as an opportunity to reclaim their party from those loud minority voices who are far left ideologues. But they won't do it.
It really feels like this is centered with young women in particular, right? And I saw a poll. Over half the young women say they have no close friends. These are young women who supported Trump. 51% say 51% of them say they have no friends, right? So who supported Trump. So even in these circles, like, you're ostracized. Do you have Democrat friends?
I have Democrat friends, but they're not Democrats in the term we use now. They're more like, a Democrat of Clinton era. But anybody who I'm friends with now, if they don't like Donald Trump, they don't want to talk to me. I've lost a lot of friends because of Donald Trump. And part of the reason is our education institutions, media, entertainment, it says that anybody you disagree with is a threat. And so when young women say, oh, well, this person disagrees with me, they must be threatening my, right to X, Y, Z, I can't be friends with them. If your worldview says you can't have friends with someone who has a different opinion, the worldview is the problem.
But Tiffany, here's the thing, though. It's college-educated women. By the way, Mondani overwhelmingly won college-educated folks. You talk about the future, less optimistic about the future of our country. Only 36% are even optimistic, whereas the average is 50%. So how come these well-educated people are so down and out?
Well, because if they're aligning with the Democrat Party right now, it's a very negative place to be. There's no hope on the horizon. They continue to sink lower and lower in the polls. They're negative. They're angry. They're name-calling. And I welcome them to the Republican Party, where we're happy. Let's make America happy again.
You do know that the statistics that our fertility crisis got worse after the first Trump time, and it was the registered Democrats who didn't have any children. And so I want to bring that up because the guys are suffering. Fewer than half the single men out there reported receiving any physical affection in the past week. By the way, 73% of guys didn't receive any affection. What's going on?
Oh, that's so sad to me. I have 3 boys, and I make sure that I hug them every time I am with them.
Wait a minute. Is that what they're talking about here?
I don't know.
I don't have to tell the pollster. Well, my mom gave me a hug. They're like, Bob, that's not what we're talking about right now. But we'll put you down as a no.
Well, I I do think, first of all, studies do show that 7 to 8 hugs a day actually do help boost your happiness. My mom always gives us hugs, but we're not boys. But I do think that young men in particular, they have not been, for the past decade or so, culture has told them, don't go out and find a girlfriend or future wife. Go out and find someone to hook up with. So it's hookup culture.
Right.
So of course they don't
Right.
have someone during the week. Well, these are just girls they treat like, objects.
Wow. Something intriguing, sort of along this line, and maybe deeper. The big news today, Uber, they have a new feature. It's going to roll out in the next month where women, you can pick women drivers or riders. It's what's going on? Is there something going on that I don't know about?
Well, I think as a woman who travels and independently all over the country every week, I find it. I appreciate it
Really?
to have that option, because what people don't realize, as a woman, I think about every single thing when I travel. I think about when am I going to go out on my run? What am I going to wear?
Right.
Who's around me? These are things that maybe men don't always think about. So to have that security where you just want to feel safe, it's just an added layer of security and comfort, especially as a woman when you're traveling, to say, hey, if I want to choose a woman or Uber driver, I have that option.
Right, and
I think it's a good thing.
The driver can also pick a woman too. I mean, it goes both ways. I've always felt good about these services in the sense that I knew, like if they were picking up a female relative, a friend of mine, at least who the driver
Right.
was.
Right.
But this goes a step further.
I actually like it. I recently had an experience with a rideshare app that I was a male driver. It was about midnight, and he ended up taking routes that the map was not telling him to the point where the app actually said, hey, are you okay? Please check in yes. And I said to the driver, excuse me, where are you going? And he immediately got flustered. It was like, oh, we're just going off track because there's traffic. I didn't feel safe. So
Right.
I would like to have a female driver late at night.
All right, so I've got a unique proposition. I think we can solve some of this stuff. How about we start the party? I had no idea when Prince said party like it's 1999. He was right, that we would stop partying.
After 1999.
21st century, the decline in hours spent attending parties is mind-boggling. Down 50% for 15 or older, down 69% for 15 to 24. I mean, the old folks are partying more than the young folks. What's going on, Brianna?
I mean, look, as someone who literally never went to a party in high school or college, say what you will about my lack of friends maybe, I don't have a desire to, but I do think there's a problem where we have curated a society where isolationism is like the creme de la creme. Everything's digitized. You remotely work. There is no socialization. When you're not socializing on a day-to-day basis and curating those norms, why would you go out and party with these people you have no connection with?
Tiffany, may I make a suggestion? Maybe we can add this chart with the guys with no affection.
Yes.
Maybe we start the
And
party
help
a little
them out.
Maybe we start the party a little bit more.
Yes.
We'll get a little bit more affection. Who knows? We may solve the fertility crisis. I don't know.
Look at us. It would be good all around. And I think a lot of it has to do with social media. We partied in 1999. We went to bonfires, and we had to wait weeks unless you wanted to pay a premium to get your photos back
Right.
in an hour. So I
Right.
think it kind of changes the dynamics of just trusting people. But
Yeah.
let's make America happy
Let me tell you,
again.
when I-
The future's
Fun.
bright.
When I was 29, I was afraid I was going to be a lounge lizard. So let me tell you, I partied. Ladies, thank you both very, very much.
Thanks, Charles.
All right, Liz Clayman, over to you.
Okay, how about that? A 461-point gain on the Dow, Charles? I thank you,
Take
my
it.
friend.
You got it.
Breaking news.